Well, good morning. Top of the day of Monday. Welcome back to the Everyday Growth Advisors live stream. Fancy having all of you beautiful people out here. I know that you guys are ready to get this bread. So, I hope that you guys are ready for a very turbulent week. We have lots of interesting things that will happen this week. So let's get it on. There is a little bit of news that is going to be dropping. Some numbers with inflation this week, I believe. Let's have a look at the calendar. I want to make sure that I'm not, giving you guys some wrong info, but I'm pretty sure that we will be seeing some important news that comes out this week. So yes, we have OPEC meeting happening on Tuesday. Okay, we have, let's have a look at this real quick. Mortgage rate, and there we go, inflation numbers. Core CPI, which will be on Wednesday. So expect the market to continue its run here. However, I do always say that we have to judge the market by its by the news cycles, by the various different fundamentals that we are watching, okay? And we have to make sure that we are on top of everything, right? FOMC statement and the Federal Reserve interest rate decision will be happening on Wednesday. My bad. Wednesday, okay? We have it right here. So I want to start the week off by informing you that this will be a very interesting week, okay? We have a lot of fundamentally important numbers that will be coming out. So we have to be extremely careful with the positions that we take. Okay. So yeah, apart from that, this market continues to melt up. I'm going to get to that in a second here. Let's go step by step like how we always do it. We're going to break down the news and determine if we are cycling good or bad news. Earlier today, the news was starting to cycle a little bit of bullishness. And it seems like right at the open, we have gone back into the bearish mode, right? Global infections breaching 7 million, blah, blah, blah. We have Morgan Stanley makes a new bet on steepening US curve. What does that mean, right? They expect the US curve to steepen. And then, as usual, US futures are just zipping ahead, right? The whole of last week, we had majority of financials and industrials leading the way. And I have mentioned this. If you have been following along with the live stream and you turn up for these streams, you'll realize that I am already giving you guys stuff that you need to think about a week in advance. So, for example, the week that I had pulled off, I had showed you guys the data with airlines, right? This is almost 2 weeks back now, where I shared with you guys the breakdown that we did on the EGA mentorship with the intermediate group. I was doing a course with them, teaching them about advanced options trading. And we did a fundamental breakdown, which is part of our advanced option strategies on these 6 airlines, right? And we had ranked them from 1 to 6 based on their a variety of different metrics. We pulled all the data up based on travel periods, the number of flights, the number of seats. We had one of our members in there who was a flight planner who was able to get us some of this data, which was really nice. And then we put it together with liquidity analysis with their debt to asset ratios. We put it together with ROE, net income, revenues, interest coverage multiples to come out with a hybridized ranking system that would give us an edge, right? And exactly 2 days later, the airlines started to run. And this is 2 weeks back now. So airlines are making a deep run. And you can see the leaders of the pack are these 3 right here. Delta, United, Southwest. AAL has had a bit of a run too, but I would be cautious about that. The company is ranked 6 on my list, and that's because they've been running into a lot of operating losses and a negative net income. Even JetBlue has been negative, but the only difference is that they have sufficient assets to cover, right? So remember, we go through these things in advance, way in advance. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but you can see from my notes over here, this is exactly what we did, and we've already covered it, okay? This is one thing that we covered. And then exactly a couple of days later, I had informed you guys that look at the difference between the NASDAQ, the SPY, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? This is when the Dow Jones was barely breaking out, okay? The Dow Jones was here, the SPY was already breaking out, right? SPY was kind of breaking out, okay? SPY was somewhere here, right? And the NASDAQ has already breached and was reaching the all-time high, which is the reason why I came to a conclusion that, hey guys, listen, stop concentrating your capital into tech and start buying industrials and financials, which are the 2 biggest sectors in the NASDAQ. And since then, you can see what has happened. We have had a monster rally, right? And this is all because sectors do rotate. And you have to remember this. When one sector is down, they will often cycle to catch up with the rest of them. So I was saying to buy the Dow Jones when it was somewhere around here, right? And now we have had a very massive rally this past week. If you would have invested in financials and industrials like we have on option swing, you would have made a pretty penny, okay? So I just want to put it out there. Majority of the things that we discuss in this live stream are very important things. And I want to, make it aware to you guys that turning up for these streams are very important, honestly, because we give a lot of insights. So I want to say thank you for being here if you are here on a regular basis. And you can see the benefits of being here. This live stream has quickly grown to a large number of people turning up, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. So I want to say thank you, and if you're here for the first time, welcome into the stream. Make sure that you smash the like button, right? That's the only thing I ask you to do. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't, so that you can get, access to these great videos when they go live and when they post replays. Okay. Sometimes you might not be able to attend the stream. So if you attend the stream and if you're not able to attend the stream and you want to watch it later, you can always click on the replay, and that will definitely get you caught up. All right, so starting off here, the news is starting to cycle back bad news again. So we have news of some more infections breaching and general geopolitical news. OPEC and the rest of the world are trying to negotiate a oil deal, and a oil cut. They did manage to do it. But I'm going to get to oil in just a second, okay? I know that many of you are euphoric on oil right now, but I'm really sorry to burst your bubble, okay? Because there's something that you guys are not looking at that I see that will be a major problem with oil. And in fact, I would be inclined to buy puts on oil or oil derivative companies for simple reasons. And I'll explain it to you in a little bit. Let's get done with the news, and we'll go step by step over here so that we can break this market down in an efficient manner. See, this is the benefit of turning up for these things, right? You come by, you kind of sip on your coffee, you're chilling, and let me do all the heavy lifting for you, okay? So, welcome in. All right. New York City begins opening. That's what the Wall Street Journal is posting, right? And then, still a lot of domestic anxiety within the United States of America. Protests going on all across the country, right? NASDAQ overtakes the NYSE in coronavirus era IPOs. That's interesting one, right? That's definitely an interesting one. Okay. U.S. futures edge higher after last week's rally, and then some other geopolitical nonsense that I don't really focus on. Okay. So, all in all, seems like bearish news to me. Bearish news means market's going to continue to go up. Now, we only start selling the market and we start aggressively buying puts when we see the news start to become bullish. And it's a simple reason, because when the news starts to cycle bullishness, that's when retail investors start to buy. And when retail investors start to buy, that's when we get out. Okay, and when I say retail investors, I mean you, but and me. But obviously, since we are part of a community together, right, we are better to figure out together that this is inching towards the top. Okay, and so for that reason, I say when retail investors start to buy, we get out. Now, is it time to get out here? We don't know yet. We will know when the news starts to say something like, the market is in a crazy rally the past week, and we are going to hit all-time highs in the next 2 hours. I'm just exaggerating it, but you get what I'm saying. The moment the news starts to cycle bullishness, that's when we will take our tickets and get out. All right. So right now we still see cycling of bearishness, and hence we're going to stay in long until we can ride it out. All right, cool. Pre-market movers today. We have penny stock, ignore. Hertz up 27%, ignore that one too, bankrupt company, ignore. American Airlines is up big time, 7%, right? This is one of the ones on the sheet, but as I told you, be cautious about this company. It's not fundamentally good compared to the rest of them. So you might want to check out the rest of them, like LUV, Southwest, which I said was a great choice. This is a great company to buy, right? Up again. And then you have United, right? United Airlines. This one's also slightly up, right? And then you have Delta. DAL. There we go. These three are the ones that I would pick, right? Of course, Boeing is on a tear today. This is part of industrials, which is a sector I was telling you about, right? On the Dow Jones, right? Boeing is ripping up. Do you get in here? Absolutely not, right? It's too high, right? It's overextended at this point. It needs a pullback. So see if we can come back to cover this gap. You can see it's extremely overbought here. but it could go higher. But do you chase it here? Do you say, oh my God, I'm going to buy Boeing because it could go up to $300? Yeah, it could. So if you want to put your money where your mouth is, go buy some leaps, right? Go buy next year contracts. But do you buy it up here? Absolutely not. Why? Because the contracts will be too juiced. The premiums that you pay will be too high. And especially when the market opens today, IV for these contracts, the implied volatility is going to be exceeding 100% at least, right? So what does that mean? The premium on those contracts are going to be super juiced, which means everybody wants those contracts. And if you buy something when everybody wants it, it's going to be super expensive. So avoid buying contracts for companies that are super overextended. What you want to look at are companies that are still lagging, right? Now, what are lagging? Well, Wells Fargo is one of them, right? It's slightly lagging compared to the rest in financials, right? You can see it hasn't really broken out of this zone that it was. The rest of the financials are breaking out and doing all sorts of somersaults and backflips. So watch for Wells Fargo Chase here to kind of also catch up a little bit, right? This is one of the ones I'm watching. And then also I'm looking at Beyond this week as well. I like where it's been consolidating. I like the bullish movement. It has been kind of behaving in a consolidation manner where it could continue to go up. So I do see some upside here, especially since the moving average crossed and it's staying above, right? Okay. So we'll see where the technicals get us, but this is what I'm just talking about right now. Okay. Technical update on SPY. You can see that on the daily chart where I've drawn my fib retracements. This is the swing low to the swing high here, right? And I drew it up here. So if we're able to break this level and breach, let's have a look at it on the 4 hour. You see what I'm talking about here. If we can breach this level here, up here, right? Then we are ultimately going to go back to all-time highs, right? But do you think that we will go right away? Probably not, right? Remember that nothing moves up in a straight line. No stock or no market moves up like that, right? Or moves up like this. And you can see, what is this? This is that. So we need some kind of a pullback, right? We need a pullback. And if you start buying calls aggressively here, what are you going to do? You're going to end up asking yourself, hashtag, why does God hate me? Okay, so you don't want the why does God hate me thing. You want it to pull back. You want it to make a support or test the old levels of support, right? Before heading back up. All right, so come back down somewhere here, right? Where is that likely to be? Likely to be the 61.8, right? Or it could be the 50, which are these two levels here. Now, does it have to do that? Like, is it confirmed that it's going to do that? Absolutely not. It could keep going, right? But we know that this is overextended now, so we should start taking some baby positions as hedges. And I have been adding positions since last week. So this week, I'll continue to add a little bit more. I'll add a little bit here. I added a little bit here. I added a little bit here. Now I have an average down hedge position. Now, when the market comes down, all these contracts are going to pay me, right? And then what I do is I will take the profits on those contracts and buy more calls with my money. This is what a hedge is. You're using a hedge to protect downside risk and produce additional capital for the next leg up. Okay? So just wanted to go through that real quick. The upside looks very, very slim right now, but the downside looks juicy. So if the downside looks juicy, it would be more probable that we will hit a downside within the next week. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't keep going up. We could, but we're going to wait to see how the market reacts, because remember that this week we have a lot of sensitive news that can move the market. Okay, we have FOMC, we have inflation numbers, we have a whole bunch of things that can come out and make this market go down. All right, so add some baby positions for hedges, and it's like buying insurance for your car. You make a monthly payment, and if something goes wrong, you're protected. You are taking the hedge with the full intention to lose 100% of it, and that is what I'm going to be doing. All right, because I know that right now we are entering the territory where people are, one word, euphoric. And the reason why people are euphoric is because they see the market going up and they get FOMO. And then also on top of that, the people who have been shorting the market from all these levels and the market keeps going up, guess what is happening to them? Squeezed. Right? They're squeezed out of this position, And if you have shorts here, let's say you sold, well, when you sell something, you need to borrow to sell. Okay? So you borrow your shares from somebody else and you sell them over here, right? So then when you want to close out these sells, what is the opposite of a sell? It's a buy. You have to buy back those shares at a loss, right? And what does that do to the market? It sends it even higher. So that is what is happening right now. A lot of shorts are getting squeezed. And if you listen to the previous live stream, that's the reason why I said we could go much higher before we drop. Because now we're in a squeeze, we're in euphoric mode, retail investors are piling on, but this is the moment where you have to be super careful and not be greedy. Remember, as Papa Buffett says, when people are greedy, you be fearful. And when people are fearful, you be greedy. So this is the moment when you don't get greedy, okay? You be careful here. You play it smart, you day trade, you don't take positions as swings, especially calls, because the market can get wrecked at any moment, okay? All right, cool. I'm done with the technical update. So we're going to go over and do some callouts right now because I know that you guys are itching to get your callouts done. So let's have a look. Welcome into the stream, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, I only ask for one thing when you come into the stream. Smash the like button so that I know that you're here, okay? All right, dope. So let's get this started. You guys know the drill with how the callouts are done, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do them. Make sure that you use the approved callout way. You put the ticker, you put the strike that you're looking at, the expiry, and try to limit yourself to doing one call out per person for now so that I can get to all of you guys. All right, cool. Music's great. What about you? I'm great. Thank you very much for asking, Suresh. Feeling good. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thoughts on X 15 calls August 21st. X. I'm in calls for US Steel, by the way. I do like this one. Let's see. X 15 calls for August 21st. 15 calls. Yeah, it looks pretty good. 15 might be a bit high of a strike though, in my opinion. If you can get into profit and roll them out into a smaller strike, that would be better. I would say something like $12. That would be nicer, in my opinion. But I don't think you'll lose money on that though. Good morning. Holding check calls at this is this. Jeez, wow, that's a lot. Do these look probable? Okay, let's have a look. Check. Hoo-hoo. Check is looking interesting. Wow, big gap up too. When was this? This was on the May 5th, and since then we have been looking bearish. Well, it's looking more and more bearish. You can see that we're making lower highs, right? Lower highs here, right? We're in a downward channel, right? I would recommend to stop buying calls and start, yeah, your strikes are really far away too. They don't look probable to me. You have to be careful, man, with these kinds of calls. I haven't seen the stock going bullish or bullish volume coming in. Volume's been flowing out. You can see the OBVs flowing out here. But who knows? Maybe we can get a bounce here and have some bullish momentum pick up. You might have to be patient with that one, man. Just saying. What's your expiry? It's 717 and 1016. Your 1016 probably not going to hit. I would get rid of that one. 717. Oh, still too high of a strike in my opinion. It's not looking good to me, bro. Those contracts are too far out, and okay, for this one your strikes are too close but the contract's near. For this one, your strike is too far, but the contract's far. So either way, it doesn't look good. IVR $7 call 619 2020. What is IVR? And what is their market cap? Remember the rules. I don't do breakdowns for companies less than 10 billion. This is one of them. Good morning. Last week was amazing, and thanks option swing follow tutorials. You're very welcome, man. I'm glad that we helped you out there. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thoughts on WDC 52 calls 717. WDC 52 calls. Western Digital 52 calls 717. Looking bullish to me. I like this one. Volumes come in nicely here the past few days. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a nice break above this. Honestly, the thing is, I wouldn't get long in WDC until I see a break above this level. So, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and set an alert here up here. So if I can get a little bit of a heads up here. Cool. So I'll be notified if WDC breaks that level. I personally would not get bullish on this until it breaks and comes down to test this level as a support. So it needs to break up, come down, test this as support, then I'll go long with WDC. You took a chance there, and maybe I hope it pays off for you, man. I really hope. Good morning, good morning. Still a good time to get into banks. It depends on which bank. I like Wells Fargo. That one hasn't run yet. The rest of them have ran, so be careful. My first time closed captions. Good morning. Yes, it is closed captions. Am I that difficult to understand? I am speaking English after all. How you play on companies that have earnings coming up like Lulu? Well, the run up for Lulu already happened. It happened last week actually. So getting into Lulu now is a lost cause because it's already priced in, right? You can see huge run up. You gotta first of all predict when the company is gonna when the company's earnings is gonna happen and start buying, playing the IV like a week or two out. And by the way, if you're in here for the first time, welcome into the stream. I appreciate you taking our time. Make sure you just click on the like button. That's the only thing I ask for, and hit subscribe if you haven't. Check CHK. I will check later if you tell me why. Morning, fellas. Morning. Hey, bro. What can you say about UNFI call? Could you give me more information, please? What strike? What are you looking at? Why am I going to be looking at that stock? Okay, more info here. Let's see. For people that this is your first time, I want the callouts to be made in this manner here. Make sure that you put the strike down, the expiry, so that I understand what you are asking me. Because if I don't know, then I'm gonna give a very non-helpful answer because it's not gonna help you and it's not gonna help me. So I don't see the value in that. Thoughts on Pen 37 calls 612? That sounds already like very close expiry, so probably not a good idea. But let's see. 37 calls 612. Maybe you might hit it actually. Maybe, but I think it needs to come down though. I think it needs to come down before going back up. That's what I see at least. It's been running very far above the moving average. You can see this is the moving average. It's been going extremely far above. It needs to come down to touch the moving average, bounce on it, right? Something like a bounce before running back up. You might get caught in a bad. You might have got caught in a bad contract there. DAL 42 call 619. By the way, that contract's gonna be worthless by Wednesday, so I recommend you to get rid of it. DAL 42 call 619. Okay. DAL 42 call 619. 42 call 619. Ooh, this is tricky. I do see the gap fill, right? There's a possibility, but then I also do see volume flowing out. Let's have a look at the 1 hour to see what's going on here. Yeah, indeed, I did see a big sell here. So you can see that somebody sold a bunch of DAL stock, right? We can go in and confirm further. Go look at the 15-minute or the 5-minute to see what happened. Yep, indeed, somebody's been selling its stock big time. I would get out of that contract. Absolutely not a good one to hold. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing? Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much for saying that. Hey, I have a Facebook 232 call, expiry 619, entered at $5.10. Not my best entry, but what are your thoughts? All right, let's have a look. I do like Facebook long term. It's one of the companies that I would buy leaps on personally, and I will be looking to add some Facebook leaps when I get the chance. 619 and 232.50 calls. It looks okay to me. You should be able to get out, but depending on, see, the thing is that I'm guessing that you bought it when IV was really high. So that's the thing here, right? If you bought it when IV was high, then you wouldn't be able to get it at a good price. So that's probably my suspicion, that you bought it when the stock was rallying. One thing that you guys need to realize is you never buy stocks on a rally, right? I've explained this 5 million times now. If you buy stocks on a rally when it's going up and up and up and up, and you miss the first wave, and then you decide to get in on the absolute top, like for example how Boeing is right now, you say, I'm going to get in now because it's going to run higher. Sure, it could go higher, but dude, it could definitely drop. The chances of it dropping is far higher than the chances of it going up. Now, if the chances of it going up is slim and the chances of it going down is higher, then why are you buying calls up here, right? You should be waiting, right? So this is why I always teach all my mentees, right? The people who take the EGA mentorship course. If you see a rally, right, and you are thinking of entering those calls here, don't do it, man. You're gonna mess yourself up. What you do instead is you wait for a pullback. You wait for this pullback, and when the stock is finding support that is at a old resistance, right? Let's say this is the previous resistance, and you see the stock is rebounding here, then you start to add your positions here. Many of you, the problem is you're trying to capture the whole damn wave. You're like, I'm going to buy it at the absolute top because I am freaking, what's that guy's name? The big short guy. I don't know what the heck his name was, but you know, don't be trying to freaking take the whole wave with you. Try to capture a small portion of the wave, but do this consistently. Consistency is key, man. Okay? So don't do that. Just my 2 cents. All right. Sorry. And rent. Has the market priced in a second wave in America? Not yet. Not yet. We are still very euphoric, and people are dumping all their stimulus into stocks. So expect the market to melt higher for the short term, right? What do you think about buying shares of gold? Absolutely. I am looking at buying lots of silver and gold. In fact, I like GLD, but not at this price yet. I wanted to come down a little bit, right? GLD is going to, remember, gold is going to continue going down as the market melts up. Okay? And so is silver. So I wanted to come down a little bit more, and then I'll get in, right? So actually, I missed my entry for silver. Jeez. This was the entry for silver at 16 bucks roughly. So let's see. Maybe I might add some silver here. If I can get a retracement today, down here, I may add some silver. Long-term contract September or even October, buy some $20 calls on silver, or buy some long-term calls on gold as well. Okay, I do like those. I think this year is the year for gold and silver. You should start accumulating positions. Snap $20 call, 626. Snap $20 call, 626. Yeah, you should be good, man. You're in the money. Absolutely. Great play there, right? Bullish on Tesla this week. What do you think of 940 for this week? It just broke out of a bull flag. Well, 940 this week, very possible if Tesla, goes on a Tesla run. It did break out of resistance already, so yeah, it could definitely hit higher in my opinion. So yeah, chances are it could go up there. Tesla is one of the ones that is difficult to cover, man, and it's difficult to predict too. So, kind of got to do what you think there. By the way, welcome into the stream. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you being here. Make sure you smash that like button. I only ask for one thing, is for you guys to smash the like button. Let's get it up to 120, man. Come on. I'm sure you guys can do this. Smash the like button. That's all I ask for. And subscribe if you haven't, right? All right. Shoot, exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay, ENPH 55, 619 call. End phase. 55 call 619. Yeah, you're good, man. I mean, you're in the money and the stock is up, right? I would take some profits. If you have more than one contract, take some profits on those and let the rest ride. All right. Let's see if I have. I'm going to pause right here to see if somebody else is asking any questions that I can cover with regards to non-call outs, and then I'm going to come back to Netflix by Joshua here. So I've been losing money. I have been losing money as a newbie. Well, if you are part of Option Swing, we have a surprise coming for you this week. I'm going to let Jason announce it when he has, a little bit of time. He has been a busy man recently, but I'm sure that he will be announcing it this week. If you have been consistently losing money and you need someone to help you out, there will be something to help you out from Option Swing that will be announced this week. Okay, and I hope that you guys will be super excited about it, because I'm super excited about it. All right. Since Ivy is super juice on airline stocks, what do you advise? Maybe selling a call and receiving premium? Well, yeah, you could do that if you wanted to, right? That's one thing that you can definitely consider if you expect the market to turn around, right? This is a good suggestion, but you have to sell a call that is going to be improbable to hit so that you can collect some free premium. Okay, that's the idea there. Cool. DG, okay, let's see if there are any more questions here. Question, oil is booming back today. Oh, I completely forgot to even mention about oil, which is what was my big update for you guys. Question, oil is booming today. Is it late to get in CHK, blah, blah, blah. Okay. For all of the oil-related questions, I'm going to answer all of them together. I'm not going to break down any oil tickers because I have something more important to tell you guys, and that is that I'm just going to go ahead and say it, that for people who are getting long oil, you have to be extremely careful during this period, okay? I highly predict that oil is going to come back down, okay, hard. And the reason why I say this is because I was looking at some of the research based on what the margins are like for oil producers right now, okay? Now, oil producers are having extremely slim margins, okay? So if a business has extremely slim margins, do you think that they will be able to succeed for a long period of time if the supply is not cut massively? Well, the answer to that question, I think you can answer yourself, right? But you need to understand that there are a lot of downside risks for this market, okay? So the most obvious thing is that OPEC fails to extend the cuts currently, and then, there's an overextension over the next week of, some kind of euphoria over the economy opening back up, right? And then people start to buy oil again, right? And that's fine. If people do, that's great. But you need to realize that the margins for oil producers are very, very paper thin, okay? Refinery margins are still very weak, okay? And they're getting a bit ahead of themselves here. So you need to understand why. Because when margins for refineries are very weak, it leaves very little incentives for refiners to basically, increase their output, basically, right? So they don't want to increase their output, right? And so clearly, this is not very good for demand. If there's no increase in supply, then the demand that catches up is going to cause another problem, right? And then also there's a risk, right, of supply starting to return when the prices are strengthening, okay? So when this causes like a false kind of a breakout, which is what is going on right now. I see it happening in front of me. So this is the reason why I'm telling you guys to be careful, okay? And also in the recent days, a couple of US producers have already said that they're gonna bring certain rigs offline, okay? So they've already said that some of these rigs are gonna be shut down, all right? And so we're gonna have a flooded market once again. We're gonna have an oversupply, okay? And so if the market is flooded again, we're gonna see the rigs decline once again, okay? So be really careful, especially, WTI, particularly in the current environment, doesn't look very good. There's a lot of long positions, and remember, when there is a big long position, if everybody's net long, okay, then there are very little people who are short, okay, and so the net longs can get squeezed, okay, and who are the people who are net short? It will be institutions. So be very, very careful with this. I see it happening, and I see, once again, retail investors starting to be overly enthusiastic about oil, but the margins never lie, okay? And if your margins are paper thin, then that's all she wrote. That's all I need to know, because particularly if margins are weak, then there's no incentive for people to produce oil, okay? So it might be an oversupply situation again, all right? Be very careful. I wouldn't recommend trading oil. All right, I'm gonna go through this and have a look at this. So, love these lives, my new routine. Thank you for doing this. You're very welcome, man. I appreciate you being here. All right, okay, let's get these likes up, guys. I see we're at 92. We need to get to 120. Come on. All right, let's see. Smash the like button. Thank you. Blah blah blah. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get through these callouts in a little bit. Let me see if there's somebody who asked something here. Let's see. Kind of scrolled through that by accident. Okay. Shaw, what's up, my boy? I think a lot of people are overlooking Allegiant Airlines. They're once of the best to own. Made a ton of my profit last week and holding 717 140 call. Sure, I will take a look at Allegiant in just a second here. Let me see if anybody's asking a non-ticker related question. What is your favorite ONG company? XOM is definitely my favorite oil and gas company. Good morning. Didn't know if you answered, but I see others asking for Boeing. I have this. Is it worth holding? Okay, we'll get to Boeing in a second there. First time joining this live stream. Love this. Thank you very much for being here, Irving. Appreciate you. Okay. Can you explain IV and what not to do when looking at contracts with low versus high IV? Absolutely. See, this is the kind of questions that I don't want to miss answering, because these are good questions. The tickers and the callouts can be done anytime, but these are the questions that we need. Okay, so how do you explain IV, and how do you avoid this problem? Okay, let's use Boeing as the example, right? Because this is a prime example. All right, so Boeing has been running up, right? Big time. Now, when Boeing's running up like this, what's happening to the IV? Initially here, IV would have been pretty low, right? Maybe at the 40%, 30 or 40% region, right? Okay, let's just say, assume, okay, that this is where it was. Now, as the stock continues to climb, right, somewhere here, IV is now going to spike to 70% to 80%, right? Now, when the stock goes parabolic like that, now at this point, IV is going to be something like 100 to 150%. Now, what does this mean? Okay, we are talking about implied volatility here, all right? When IV is low over here, it means that not many people are buying these contracts. So the prices are relatively cheap. Okay. Now, here it starts to get slightly expensive. Slightly expensive. All right. I wish my pen worked better. All right. Gets slightly expensive here. And up here, it's damn motherfucking expensive. So what do? Well, you absolutely do not buy here. That's for one, right? If you want to take positions here, you got to take light positions, right? Because there is a very high chance that if you take a big position here, the stock can come back down, right? In this case, Boeing went higher, right? But do you buy here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, okay? Because if you buy here, what's going to happen is you got it at the most expensive price. Now, while everybody is going to take profits, remember, everybody's going to start taking profits at some point, and you will be the person caught holding the bag. This is the bag, okay? It's a very, very nice bag, but you don't want to be caught holding it. Do not hold the bag. Please don't hold the bag, guys. All right? Please buy the bag when it's down here and sell the bag when it's here. All right? How do you do that? You try and predict the trend before it happens. Now, you can see that Boeing was in a wedge for the longest time, a falling wedge. It broke out, right? And then started exhibiting bullish pattern. You could have easily entered here or here, but absolutely do not enter it here, right? So this is how you avoid it, and that's how you predict it. Okay, and that's a kind of a breakdown. All right, let's have a look at the rest of this stuff. Welcome into the stream, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you smash that like button. That's the only thing I ask from you. And thank you for being here. Okay, let's see. Kramer says he's never seen a stocks run like after hours like this. No resistance. He mentioned airlines, oil and air, along with HZ and LK. He thinks they're going to be gone up. Your thoughts on how to play this? I absolutely wouldn't buy HZ and LK. They're both on my no trade list because they could be pumped and dumped. And no resistance is true, but remember that euphoria often ends with you catching the bag, holding the bag. Okay. Do you trade full time? Absolutely, I do. Right now, I do full time. Like, thank you very much. Thank you. Is it too early to start watching US? Oh, I got some profits last week, but still looking kind of unpredictable. I just explained the whole oil thing, so I don't recommend. What do you look for before placing a call or put? I look at the IV, I look at the Greeks, I look at the performance of the stock versus the market and the sector. Are you recommending buy calls or put for hedging strategy you explained earlier? Well, it depends on what you mean. I don't quite understand what you're saying here, but here's one thing about hedging. There are two ways you can hedge. You can either, well, there are multiple ways you can hedge, but let me show you the two most common ways and the way that I usually do it. You can either buy puts on SPY, okay, or you can play fear and buy calls on UVXY, right? And I personally like the UVXY calls. Why? Because they're cheaper. So you get a cheaper insurance with the higher gain, especially since this ETF is 1.5 times levered. So you buy it for a day trade. It's a perfect thing to buy because you lever up your trade, and the returns are going to be beautiful. So I recommend buying some UVXY calls, and then the other thing you can do is to buy calls in bonds, right? Because when market goes down, bonds go up. Well, not always, but you can say there's a tendency for these two to perform inverse. Okay, so you can see some inflows into bonds. That's one thing you can do. All right, let's get back to the tickers and see. We were at Joshua. Was it Joshua? I'm pretty sure it was Joshua. Yes, it was Joshua. Netflix 430 call 612. Well, possibility, but risky. Netflix is trading below the moving averages and it's looking bearish. I would get out of them, especially since it's this week expiry. AAL $19 612 call. I think you're good with those, right? Are you not? Yeah, you're good with those. Get out of them today for a profit and take your money and run, man. Question, oil was booming. Okay, I went through this already. J&J 167.17. I like Johnson & Johnson as a long-term hold. 167.17. Might be a bit too far of a strike, man. I think you chose a very far strike. You should have gone something like 150 or 155 even, but once you say 170, that's 160. It's a bit far. You have a lot of movement to make, and the stock moves very slowly. You can see that it moves very, very slowly. So might be too far of a strike. Try and roll it over somehow. VAL, what is VAL? $1? Nah, we're not going through that. Doubt it's going to have a market cap of the size. Yep, absolutely not. Volaris, no. I know that this stock has had a very deep run. I heard some people talking about it. but I wouldn't trade it. Okay, I just wouldn't, honestly. Yeah, this is exactly how you get into trouble, and we know that, like, everybody knows. Everybody who's attended live stream knows that this is how you get into trouble. Okay, this is what we call a pump and dump. So don't do it. Do not. Not until you have some fundamental knowledge that backs this. Okay, great. Welcome into the stream. If you haven't, please click on the like button and subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate you guys being here. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This stream is partnered with Option Swing, a online community which has almost 1,400 traders right now. We teach you how to trade. I am the educational head in this channel, in this Discord, and I would definitely appreciate you guys leaving a little bit of a comment or a like or a subscribe if you like these streams and if you want more. All right, great. SFIX. This company is reporting earnings this week, so whatever you do, it's about to be a flip. Went through AAL already. Microsoft 717 195. Yeah, that's a very tricky one. I do like Microsoft as a business. I've mentioned this already. If you listen to the podcast with Kevin Fomo, by the way, I don't know if you guys realize I have already released the first podcast, and I should probably tell you guys here. I did mention it on live stream last time. We are officially gonna be doing podcasts now. Well, the Everyday Growth Advisors is, and I would appreciate if you guys go listen to the podcast. It was a great podcast with a millionaire trader from Option Swing. You will get a lot of insight by doing those. So, Boeing 180 calls 812. This is an in the money contract. I don't recommend getting those. Absolutely don't recommend it. Smash the like button. Thank you very much for smashing the like button, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. AL, I went through AL. Should I hold Ford? $7 puts, 730.24. Car companies are actually rallying this week. I wouldn't recommend holding puts on them because there might be a sympathy. D-Dog, 775 call, 619. Please, thanks. Sure. D-Dog. I like saying D-Dog. Data Dog. Okay. 79 you said? No. 75, 619. Ooh, that's next week too. Looks bullish to me, but man, there's a huge gap to fill here. If the market dumps and, you know, this is a tough one, man. It could go up there, but I don't know, man. It's a tough one. D-Dog is a tough one because I personally I wouldn't play it because it's kind of overextended, but then I feel like it could run too, so I'm 50-50 on that. That's the first time I've ever been 50-50. I just answered Ford. I don't oh, this is calls this time. Ford calls not expiring. No, absolutely do not hold it for expiring this Friday. BP 31 call 619. That's, I'm guessing, an oil play. No, that is not an oil play. Or is it an oil play? Might be. In my opinion, it looks super bought up and needs a retracement. So I don't recommend holding those. DAL 40 calls 72. 40 calls 72. Probable. It could go up there. I do like Delta. It's one of the, I think it's ranked 3 on the list. But I do see volume flowing out, so you have to be super careful. Your expiry seems a bit near. That's all I'm going to say. I think that you should try to roll it out to a further expiry and try to get it on a dip when you roll it out. PayPal. Oh, I haven't looked at PayPal in a long time. 180 calls for 717. PYPL. 180 calls 717. Whoa, that's, bruh, no. That too far of a strike. Way too far of a strike, too little time, in my opinion. DL, I just answered that. Should I hold JP Morgan July 17, 16, wait, $16 strike? No, that's not possible. I think you got the strike wrong, buddy. I'm guessing that you meant 116 strike. I'm not sure. I went through AL already. Alright, let's see. Allegiant Airlines. Let's have a look. Is this the one? ALGT, Allegiant Travel Company. Yeah, this one looks bullish. Nice time to get in now too, actually. If you were looking for a bullish play, looks like a nice one. I wanted to actually come back. I might have to watch this one for a bit. That's a tricky one. But realistically, I would like to buy it somewhere here. 118. That would be a nice present. Crowd 97 call 612. Yeah, possibly. I think so. Yeah, I think I like this one actually. Yeah, stock is trading nice on the moving averages, right? Using it as a support. Volume flowed out, but then flowed back in. You see that? Yeah, looking bullish. I would like to enter, honestly, at 90 bucks. This is where I would like to enter. And I think the strike you picked, what was the expiry? 612. No, too near of a strike, bro. The strike date is too near. I would roll that out, honestly, personally. Welcome into the stream, guys. I hope that you guys are having a great Monday. This is the live stream that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I go through tickers with you guys, break down the market, pre-market. We went through a whole bunch of important things earlier. If you weren't able to follow and get that done, please watch the replay. That will be helpful as well. Skip through it and you'll see that in the beginning, first 20 minutes, I dropped a couple of gems for you guys. And yeah, so I hope that you found that interesting or yeah. Hey, we officially hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to say thank you to all of you guys. I am extremely humbled to be here and assist you guys through this journey because I started the Everyday Growth Advisors as a platform for me to give back to the community. I know the struggles of you going through all of this hardship and the learning curve of all of this. That's the reason why I started the live stream and the channel. If you don't know, I do primarily make videos for you guys. There is a couple of playlists here that you should check out. One on passive investments and the other on active investments. And you know, the active investments has a entire series that I dedicated to technical analysis, where you can learn from the start to the end how to do technical analysis. So how do you read candlesticks? How do you do fundamental analysis? How do you do moving averages? And how do you do support and resistance? How do you learn all those things? Watch these videos and you will really learn a lot, because I've taken the time to summarize what I have learned over the past 6 to 7 years and make it simple for you guys. Not only that, there is now also the podcast series, which I have launched very recently. And the first video of the podcast series was an interview.
It's the same thing with Amazon, right?
Trader. His name is Kevin FOMO from the Option Swing platform. So, if you haven't gone and seen that, go have a look at it as well. Lots of interesting things are going to come your way. This channel is only going to get bigger. I am really, really humbled by you guys supporting me through this journey and helping me help you. So thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. All right, a lot of ticker requests coming today. So let's try to get the ones that I think are great here. Definitely don't take that one. If you're expecting the market to reverse, Amazon's going to drop with it, so definitely don't do that. Wells Fargo, I like this, but yeah, I do like Wells Fargo. You could definitely go for that. I'm going to try and skip through the ones that we've already done. Boeing, I've already done. SPG, this has been called out on option swing. You didn't tell me if it's a call or a put here. 245 calls, absolutely not. I don't think that you should hold Boeing at such a high level here, especially calls. If somebody starts taking profits, you're dead. That's all. Tesla 1080, absolutely not. I don't like that play. It's too optimistic and risky. So I mean, if you like the risk, then go ahead, do that. Possible bankruptcy? No, Alan. They've already announced bankruptcy. So I think that I think playing puts is a good idea. Honestly, I do think it is a good idea. It's being euphorically bought up for no reason. So Welcome into the stream. If you are here for the first time, make sure you smash the like button. We did hit 120. Let's see if we can get it to 130, guys. I appreciate you. All right. Let's see if somebody else said anything here. Whoa. So many comments here. Okay, Kramer. Okay, is it too early? I love you too, man. Okay. Do you think second round of COVID-19 affects the market down again? I do think so, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I think that it will happen towards the end of the year. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you for your live streams. You're welcome, man. Oh, well, you're welcome, Adriana. I'm doing mean to say, man. Sometimes I don't read the names. It's because there's so many comments here. I really appreciate you guys being here, by the way. All right, let's see. Maybe I can... Yeah, I think that's about it for today. I didn't see anything else that was worth covering. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the stream here because I know that some of you have trades to close out when the market opens. Once again, if you haven't checked out the channel, go check it out. This live stream, it happens every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you will get notified when we go live. And I love all of you guys. Have a good trading day. I'll see you on Wednesday. Check out the videos in my channel. Check out the podcast with Kevin FOMO. Stay tuned for announcements this week. A lot of economic news coming out. Be very careful with how you are going to trade. As I have said, if we breach this level, then sure, we can think of how we're going to play that. But for me, the way I look at it, I'm already going to start accumulating hedges to my portfolio. I'm going to start with UVXY calls, probably at the open or within the first 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to kind of average in with UVXY calls throughout the day, as well as possibly buying some gold, silver, and then also playing a little bit of bonds. I'm going to mix it up a little bit and see what the plays come to me, and see if I can get any quick picks on financials. And yeah, all right, cool. Well, nice having you guys here. I will see you all on Wednesday. Peace.